Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, and I got another 80s slasher film for you. And I'm not sure where to begin with this one, but it is 1983's Sledgehammer. This is another one I saw for free on YouTube, and this one was interesting because this is a shot on video film, meaning it's pretty much shot on a regular video camera. There's nothing Hollywood equipment about it. It takes low budget quality to a whole other level. Not quite found footage. Still looks like a movie, but it looks like something you would make with your friends, like with your dad's camera or whatever. And this was really new at the time. Like, this was sort of around the time shot on video was coming out, or shot on shittio, as some people call it. And it was directed by David A. Pryor, who I think has done a lot of like shot on video cult stuff. It stars his brother Ted Pryor, along with a bunch of other people that I can't even click on, so, like Tim Aguilar, Linda McGill, Sandy Brooke, John Eastman, Janine Shear, and Stephen Wright. Not the comedian Stephen Wright. That would have helped this movie out a lot. The budget was $40,000. Now, the thing about this movie is, again, for free on YouTube. Somehow this got a DVD. I don't know how it got a DVD, but it did. It became a cult classic. I think it's because this is really one of the first like shot on video slasher films to really get noticed. I mean, it got a lot of reviews from like critics and websites and newspapers, but so I think it's sort of like the leading shot on video slasher film. Could be wrong on that. I'm sure someone will correct me. Everything is a problem with this film. This movie is incoherent from start to finish. But can I really fault it? Can I really rant on it? I mean, like, okay, the acting is absolutely horrendous, but going into a shot on video film, it's something you're kind of asking for. I mean, I find it hard to rant on something like that. Like, that's already going to be bottom of the barrel quality. But, and to be honest, like, the acting, the non-existent plot, and everything wasn't even the hardest thing to deal with this movie. It was some of the ambitiousness I feel David A. Pryor tried to take with this film. Meaning, okay, if Automaton Transfusion was the shaky cam zombie film, this is the slow-mo slasher film. This movie has so many slow-mo and freeze frame shots, it is ridiculous. And it's a pretty basic slasher, but it's also a supernatural slasher for reasons I don't know why. And I'm gonna have to, surprise everyone with this. Yeah, I would have to say the Boogeyman is a better made movie, but I actually got more entertainment out of this. I still hate the Boogeyman to death, but okay, it opens up, which we get our credits, which is, we see the cast, but there's like this inverted red filter as the camera moves along, as the text for the credits, and when it says like 10 years later, is the kind of text that like computers had in 1983. Very low tech. I mean, it kind of gives it charm in the same way that, say, Sleepaway Camp. Its low budget quality gives that movie charm. But that movie oozes charm compared to this. I love Sleepaway Camp. And it opens up with this establishing shot of this house. And I mean, it hangs on this house for like, I swear, almost 2 minutes before it zooms in. We see a mother in lingerie. She locks her young son in a closet. Goes to, you know, make out, have sex with this guy downstairs. And they're murdered by the kid with the sledgehammer. And it's one of those movies, like, you'll see the back of someone's head, you'll see the sledgehammer like in frame, and it will come down, and then like it'll be a quick shot of like the hammer already connecting, and then the next shot is like them on the ground. It's almost feels pixelated. I thought this movie was going to be a joke because it said like special effects by, and it said blood and guts. It said lighting technician Michael Watt. I'm like, this has to be a fucking joke movie. So then we jump 10 years later, and we have these 7 friends showing up at this house for a partying weekend. And this is one of the most hardest to watch group of friends I've seen in a slasher film in a long ass time. The acting wasn't the problem, even though it is. It is just how obnoxious they are. They are always just wild, like screaming, yelling, doing the woo-hoo, like wooing and screaming and laughing. Like, remember the laugh of the guy with the sunglasses in Texas Chainsaw 2? That sort of cackling? That happens a lot. The main couple, which I don't even really remember the name of the characters. Chuck, played by Ted Pryor. You know, him and his girlfriend Joni, they're kind of having problems. His acting approach is like, I don't know, Joni, it's, alright. And I'm just going to skip a bunch because that's what the movie does. There is so many slow-mo and freeze-frame segments in this. Like, as soon as they're unloading the van, like, there is a long slow-mo segment of Chuck and Joni just walking hand in hand with happy music. And freeze-frame. Anytime someone says something like, yeah, weird. And they're like crossfade. And it feels like it's trying to be ambitious and creepy, but without the technical support to back up the rest of the film. And effects by blood and guts, there really isn't anything to them. Because, okay, we get, at the first sign of anything, okay, they're having dinner, they have a food fight. For no reason. They just have a food fight, and there's this one guy, he's the guy that wears his hat like this, because of course he does. He's the one, like, on, like, the high-pitched wooing during the food fight. So then, Chuck wants to have a seance. And, okay, this scene, I'll kind of give him some credit. It's still cheesy, but it's not bad. Where, you know, the camera is right on him. All the lights are out. He's got the candle. He's telling the story of the mother who left her husband, took her kid to this very abandoned house, locked him in a closet. And, I mean, he's kind of like, took her kid, brought her to this house, to this very house. He looks around and he locks eyes on the camera a lot. I'll give him some credit. It's not perfect, but I'll give him some credit. And this guy goes upstairs. He has a speaker system. And so it's set up with like, you are in my house and get out. So the friends, who obviously can't tell it's their friend's voice, is like, really? What the fuck? Wow. And every time it shows this guy upstairs playing with the speaker, he is like seizuring, laughing, and like hitting the ground, all happy. It is beyond terrible acting. And then the killer comes in finally because he's up in the room with the closet, which does have the regular sliding lock on it, and it literally like it'll be locked, and then it doesn't like click and unlock. It'll just be like like jump cut to it being unlocked. And now this little kid is now like this big guy, wears a translucent mask. He sticks a knife in his throat, and it's this very up close shot of him going like, as he like sticks the knife in. And pretty much as the legend goes, so yeah, the kid got the mother and her lover were killed. The kid disappeared. Either he got out, went to go find help, and died or got lost, or the killer took him. It never really explains, but we get the idea that he's dead. But the kid did get out to kill the couple, which is why I don't understand why it has to be supernatural, because he's credited as the Phantom, and he can change his form from kid self to adult self. And then we have these scenes, of the different couples in the group having sex, which this one couple has sex. He comes in with a sledgehammer, and he's like laying there on the edge of the bed, and on the inside, next to him, the killer walks up, picks her up in slow-mo, because why not, strangles her, and the dude's laying there the whole time. And then when he like throws her away, that's when the guy kind of sits up. He gets sledgehammered to the chest, which it looks like they just smeared ketchup on the sledgehammer and hit him in the chest. This one guy, John, who's like the big jockey guy, which I'll say the one truly funny moment was during the seance, during the like, get out. It was like, John, we want your blood. And he just goes, bullshit. I just thought that was funny. Because Chuck and Joni find this guy dead. So then he even tells her, like, go up and get that one couple, but don't tell them anything. Don't tell them what happened. Then he runs downstairs to tell everyone else, to get everyone else, and he tells them what happened, so, okay. But that guy, John, runs to the room to get the one couple that just got slow-mo killed. And he sees them, and then he comes out and he's like, someone hacked our friends all up into pieces. They're in pieces. And it's like, pieces? She was strangled, and he took a sledgehammer to the chest. But anyway, and it goes on like that. John becomes like they decide to stay in this one area. John wants to go look around the house for the killer. Chuck thinks they should just stay in this one room until dawn, then leave. Because something about, I think the car gets fucked with. I watched this last night, so I'm just catching up on it. They all fall asleep. John goes in this room, and he sees like a pentagram in blood on the wall. He sees a kid, which is the kid because he can change his form for whatever reason, because I don't know why it's supernatural. So he like follows the kid, and he he sees the big guy, the adult killer, tries to fight him and gets stabbed. There's really not a whole lot of sledgehammer or deaths in this movie. But then again, there's not really a whole lot of chainsaw deaths in Chainsaw Massacre. Don't know why I'm comparing those two films. Grabs the Phantom, as he's called at this point, grabs this other girl, but he's as his boy self when he stabs her to death. But as he's stabbing her to death, Chuck and Jody come in. And then he turns into his adult self, and they pretty much kill him with his own sledgehammer. And then the two of them leaves the house, and then of course he does that horror movie thing where it looks at the window and he's watching them from the window. That's the movie. It's incredibly silly. I know I've sounded like I've ranted on this movie. It's definitely like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of experience. You can just riff on it as it goes. This movie's loaded with problems. It's incredibly incoherent. The editing is atrocious. I mean, way overdone with the slow-mo and the freeze frames. I don't know what the director was thinking he was going to accomplish. The jump cuts of effects, like a door lock, just jump cut to being unlocked. You know, there's no suspense. I don't know why I had... That goes without saying. The acting was an incredibly bad issue, but it was more so just what they did with the characters as opposed to just simpler things like line delivery. The plot, I mean, why did this have to be supernatural? You could have just had this be a regular old slash film. Just, okay. I mean, they already don't explain enough as it is. Could have just had to be, okay, the kid is now an adult and now he's a serial killer. Why they had to go this supernatural route, I have no fucking idea. The actual quality of the film itself, which I know can be a turnoff for a lot of people, the whole shot on video, making it look like something you can make with your friends, which I think is what happened, but I didn't really mind it. I compare it to, honestly, some of the stuff I've seen in the Guinea Pig films. It looked very similar to that. But throughout all its terribleness, I still liked it more than the Boogeyman. I got more enjoyment out of it than the Boogeyman. It's still a terrible, terrible movie. But then again, I knew it was shot on video going into it. So can I really get mad? Like, can you really get mad at a $40,000 shot on video movie from 1983? I mean, it's not like getting mad at like a Hollywood budget theatrically released film. Plus, I saw it for free. Would I get this on DVD? Probably. Add it to my slasher collection, but can I recommend it? Absolutely. See if you can sit through it. It's for free on YouTube. Try it out. But I don't really... This is kind of an obvious review because it's completely just incoherent. It's a completely inept film. Its low budgetness doesn't add any charm like you think some movies might. But I still got entertainment out of it. At least more than the Boogeyman. That's still at the bottom for me. Even though I was surprised to see it go supernatural. That is just as unneeded as all the weird editing techniques. But I can't believe I stretched a review out for Sledgehammer to 20 minutes. But that's what I got for Sledgehammer 1983. So thank you for watching.
Oh!